unknown. My uncle sent a postcard every year, from somewhere different, somewhere never clear. On the front, a landscape or a street, a market or a harbor or a fleet of boats, but never any caption said where exactly, and we never read. Keep sending. Some postcards are about the sending, not the place. The back was always brief, always the same. Structure a line about the weather came. First, then something about the food, then signed with just his initial, nothing designed to tell us where he was or when he'd come back to us. He just wanted us to know from somewhere unrevealed that he was still alive and thinking of us from some hill or harbor that he kept entirely hid. The postcard is pulling me under. Oh, I can hear the unnamed thunder. Every year a landscape with no name, just proof of life arriving all the same. Sent for me from somewhere far. Cards and place unknown. Cards and place unknown. Cards and place unknown. Cards and place unknown, 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 unknown. Right sign, right, no. Card send. Card sign, right, no. Card send. The postcard stopped arriving one November. We counted back to trying to remember the last landscape, the last initial sign, the last brief weather note, the last design. Proof of life from somewhere with no name. 32 of them and then the same. Letterbox that swallowed them for years, swallowed only bills and swallowed only tears. From that November forward, nothing came. They say the dead released the roads they traveled, but my uncle sent us proof of life for 30 years. I do not need to know which harbor, which hill. I only need the postcard in the letterbox each year. In the letterbox each year. Trust the unnamed landscape. My uncle sent a postcard every year, from somewhere different, somewhere never clear, keeping us connected to a life. He lived between the visits and the strife. November came and nothing came with it. The letterbox still open, still unlit. Leave your mark, we are still checking the post. The letterbox is still his. The initial is still there. The postcard remembers every hand that turned it over. My father waited at the airport once for 7 hours on a Thursday in the months of winter, when the flights were grounded by a storm that held the planes against the sky. He did not call ahead to say he'd wait, just sat there in the plastic chair and late. Keep waiting. Some people wait without needing to be asked. He had driven 2 hours to collect me from a life I had been living separately from the family for a year abroad. He sat there in the airport and reimbursed for any of the hours by any measure of what waiting cost a man whose treasure was his time. He gave it all the same, sat in the plastic chair and played a game of patience with himself until I came. The airport is pulling me under. I can hear the departure thunder. 7 hours in a plastic chair for me, the quietest form of love there is to see. Wait for me beneath the arrivals board. Wait, chair, 7 storm. Wait, chair, 7 storm. Wait, chair, 7 storm, storm, storm. Wait, chair, 7 storm. Wait, chair, 7 storm. Sit, stay, sit, no, wait, chair. I came through the arrivals gate at 2 in the morning, and it stood the way you do. When you have been sitting long enough, that standing feels like something close to rough on the body. But he stood and raised his hand, the quietest of gestures, and I understand now what 7 hours in a plastic chair means as a sentence about being there for someone who does not know you are waiting.
They say the dead release the hours that they gave us,
but my father sat 7 hours in a plastic chair.
I do not need the flight to have been on time.
I only need to know he did not call ahead. He just sat down. He just sat down. Trust the 7 hours. My father waited at the airport once for 7 hours on a Thursday in the months of winter, sitting in a plastic chair, giving me his evening without fanfare. Oh, I came through arrivals and he raised his hand, the quietest thing I never fully understand. Leave your mark, we are still waiting. The chair is still plastic, the arrivals board is still his. The airport remembers every hour he sat without complaint. There's a path worn through the field behind the house that no one made with any mind, to make it just a line of compressed grass, where someone walks so often that the mass of all those footsteps bent the ground into a permanent and wordless avenue. Keep walking, some paths are made before the walker knows. My father walked it every evening late, from the back door to the broken gate. At the far end where the field meets the lane, he walked it dry, across the field tonight. Pathfield gate one, 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 Pathfield gate one. Pathfield gate one. Pathfield gate one. Press been press no. The field was sold the year after he passed. We walked the path one final time, the last morning before the fences went up straight, from the back door all the way to the gate. The grass had not grown back where he had pressed it down each evening on his nightly quest for whatever the far gate gave him that the house could not. And we stood where he sat, the world down every evening in his feet. They say the dead release the ground they walked, but that path held his evenings in the grass. I do not need the field to still be ours. I only need to know the path was there. The path was there. The path was there. The path was there. Trust the compressed grass. There is a path worn through the field behind. Whoa. The house that no one made with any mind, pressed into existence evening by evening by a man who needed somewhere for his leaving. We walked it one last morning, all of us, before the fences came without of us. Leave your mark, we are still walking. The gate is still broken, the grass is still bent. The path remembers every evening foot that found it. I grew up falling asleep to the sound of my father breathing through the ground, floor ceiling between our rooms at night, a rhythm so consistent, so right, that silence when it came was louder than any noise the world had yet began. Keep breathing, some sounds are the architecture of a childhood. I did not know I heard it until it stopped. The first night after he was gone, I dropped into a sleep that had no floor to it, a silence where the breathing used to sit, and woke at 3 convinced something was wrong, before remembering that all along the wrong was permanent and what was right was the breathing I had taken every night. The breathing is pulling me under. I can hear the nighttime thunder. Every childhood night was built around that particular and unremarkable sound. Breathe for me through the ceiling. Breath, room, night, through breath, room, night, through breath, room, room, night, night, room, room. My son sleeps in the room beside me now. I hear him breathing through the wall.
Somehow,
The same unremarkable and steady sound that held my childhood to the ground. Some nights I lie awake and listen long to what I know will one day also be gone, and feel the weight of being the breathing on the other side for someone who is leaving childhood by the inch beneath my roof.
they say the dead release the air, they move through us.
But my father's breathing
Held my childhood together.
I do not need the room beside me to be his.
I only need
To hear my son breathe through the wall at night.
through the wall at night.
Trust the sound of breathing. I grew up falling asleep to the sound. Oh, my father breathing through the ground
Floor ceiling,
of my particular night. A rhythm I mistook for granted and for right. My son breathed through the wall beside me now, and I lie awake and listen to him somehow leave your mark. We are still breathing. The wall is still thin. The night is still his. The ceiling remembers every breath that passed through it. We found it in the typewriter steel roll, around the plate and yellowed and grown old. 3 paragraphs and then a line half done, mid-sentence like a race that was not a run. To any finish just abandoned there inside the machine in the office chair. Keep typing. Some letters are not meant to reach an ending. The brother it was written to had died 6 months before we found it, and inside the 3 complete paragraphs was something like an argument still running, jumping from one grievance to another, wrapped in language that suggested they had lapsed into silence long before the letter. Neither one of them had found it better to reach across whatever stood between.
the letter is pulling me under.
I can hear the typewriter thunder. 3 paragraphs and then a half a line abandoned in the middle of a sign that something still needed to be said. Letter type, brother half. Letter type, brother half. Letter type, type, brother, brother. Half, half, letter type, brother, brother. Letter type, letter half. Father read it standing at the machine, said nothing for so long. The air turned clean of everything except the weight of 2 men and silence neither of them knew how to cross until the crossing closed. He pulled the paper out and carefully composed it back into a fold and put it in the drawer beside the typewriter, and in all the senses never spoken of it. They say the dead release the words they left unfinished, but that letter held its half a line for 30 years. 'cause I do not need the sentence to be finished. I only need to know he tried to write it. Tried to write it. Just the half a line. We found it in the typewriter still wrote. Oh, around the plate in yellow and grown old. 3 paragraphs of something almost said. A sentence stopped before it reached its end. My father folded it and put it in the drawer. Neither of them needed it anymore. Leave your mark, we are still mid-sentence. The typewriter is still there. The plating is still wrote. The letter remembers every word that almost followed. So bold, leather 12. My father used a shaving soap in a bowl, a wooden bowl that held a particular soul of a morning ritual he kept for years. Before the house awoke, before the gears, a family life engaged, he stood alone. Before the bathroom mirror with the bone, keep lathering. Some smells arrive before the memory does. The soap was a particular brand made in a town we never visited. The trade of it discontinued sometime in the 90s. He bought the last 12 pucks, the tiny announcement in the paper said the last going, and he bought them for the vast remainder of his morning. Stored them in the bathroom cabinet behind the thin door that held its particular world. The soap is pulling me under. I can hear the bathroom thunder. 12 pucks stored against the discontinuing of a smell he would not live without renewing. Lather for me in the early dark. Soap bowl, lather 12. Soap bowl, lather 12. Soap, soap, soap bowl, bowl, lather, lather 12. Soap, soap, bowl, bowl, lather, lather 12, 12. Soap, soap bowl, bowl, lather, lather 12, 12. Soap bowl, lather 12. Soap bowl, lather 12. Brush face, brush nose. Soap bowl. He used the last puck on a Thursday morning. Stood there with the empty bowl without warning. Anyone that he was running out just used it to the end and washed the bowl and said back beside the mirror where it always sat. Empty now and dry, and after that he switched to something else but never found the same particular morning in the ground of any other soap he ever tried. They say the dead released the rituals that kept them, but my father bought 12 bucks against the losing. I do not need the soap to still exist. I only need the wooden bowl beside the mirror every morning. Beside the mirror every morning. Trust the empty bowl. My father used a shaving soap in a bowl, a wooden bowl that held the particular soul of every morning standing at the glass. Before the family came, before the mass. He used the last puck on a Thursday and stood My father dragged a canoe to the same lake every August without fail, for the sake of something he could not name but needed. Every year the invitation heeded from a stretch of water that had known him since before the family had grown him. Keep dragging, some lakes remember who belongs to them. The canoe was old, the hull was patched in 7 places, every patch dispatched by his particular hand, a different color. Each repair making the boat fuller of his presence than the original would. He said a patched boat is a boat that's understood its own weakness and kept going anyway. Said he respected that about the way the lake is pulling me under. I can hear the August thunder. Every year the same stretch of the water. He dragged the canoe to like a father drags his children toward what matters most. Canoe lake, August drag. 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 Patch, patch, no, canoe lake. Hey. We dragged it to the lake the August after. He was gone, the hull still full of laughter, and of patches full of every year. He had maintained it through the wear and tear of water we put in and pushed from shore. The same stretch of water as before. The lake received it like it always had, like a thing returning, not a thing gone bad. They say the dead release the waters that they love, but that lake kept his August in its surface. I do not need him in the stern behind me. I only need the hull to find the water every year.
Find the water every year.
Trust the patch. My father dragged a canoe to the same lake every August without fail, for the sake of something the water knew and he knew too. A conversation only lakes can do. We dragged it out the August after he was gone. The lake received it and the dragging carried on. Leave your mark. We are. Film roll, darky. My uncle had a drawer of undeveloped film. Every roll a world inside a slim canister of plastic and of light, kept from the developing, kept from sight. For reasons none of us could understand, a man who loved photography, whose hand keep holding. Some images are better kept as possibility. He bought the camera young and shot through years. He pressed the shutter, said a photograph is always less than what you saw, the half of what the eye held in the actual light. He preferred the unprocessed, the might have been over the flattened and the fixed. The film is pulling me under. I can hear the unprocessed thunder. 40 years of moments in the dark, each one still a possibility. Not a mark developed for me. What cannot be developed? Film roll dark, keep film roll dark, keep film roll dark, dark, keep film roll dark, keep film roll dark, keep film roll dark, keep film roll dark, keep shoot hole, no film roll. We developed 3 of them after he died. Stood in the chemist together side by side, waiting for the prince to come out of the machine. And when they swung into color on the paper, every face was someone 40 years younger. In a place we recognize us somewhere before us, before the losses and the years that worn us. Into the people standing at the counter, they say the dead release the moments that they captured. But my uncle kept 40 years of light in plastic canisters. I do not need every road to be developed. I only need 3 prints of faces. 40 years younger, 40 years younger. Just the undeveloped. My uncle had a drawer of undeveloped film. Every roll of world inside a slim canister of possibility and light, kept from the fixing, kept from becoming right. Oh, we developed 3 and found the young faces there. Everyone we loved before the wear. Leave your mark. We are still developing. The drawer is still full. The canisters are still his. The film remembers every moment he decided to keep. My father had a joke he told for years that nobody found funny through the tears of polite laughter that the family gave each Christmas like a gift nobody craved. But him, he laughed before he reached the end, each time as if the punchline was a friend. Keep telling, some jokes are only funny to the teller. The joke was not even particularly bad, just specific to a world that he had lived inside before we came along. A reference to something now too long gone to land on anyone but him. He told it at the edges and the rim of every family gathering, and we laughed the way you laugh to set someone free of the burden of a joke that missed its mark. The joke is pulling me under. Oh, I for Christmas. Joke, tell, laugh, miss. Joke, tell, laugh, miss. Joke, 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 tell, laugh, 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 miss. Miss, joke. After he was gone, my uncle told the joke to carry on. The tradition got it slightly wrong. The reference of the punchline not as strong as the original, but close enough that something in the room turned less rough. Around the edges for a moment, all of us who knew it felt the rise and fall of his particular laugh inside the wrong version. They say the dead release the laughter that they carry, but that joke survived him in my uncle's mouth. I do not need the punchline to be perfect. I only need somebody telling it before they reach the end. Before they reach the end. Oh, trust the laugh that comes too early. My father had a joke he told for years, that nobody found funny through the tears of polite laughter given like a gift. A joke that only he could feel the lift. My uncle told it wrong last Christmas night, and every one of us laughed like it was right. Leave your mark, we are still telling it. The punchline is still his. The laugh still comes too early. The joke remembers every room that gave it a polite smile. My grandfather had one word he used for everything. He loved the word confused. By none of us as ordinary speech, it was his word alone, beyond the reach of any dictionary, any tongue. He used it for the sunset and the young. Keep saying some words belong to only one mouth. He said it when the bread came out exactly right. He said it for the dog, said factly. Nothing more, just that one syllable. Whenever something moved him to the full extent of what he felt, we heard it said. For sunsets, for the grandchildren, for bread, for the smell of rain, for a joke that landed, for a view from a hill, for the heavy-handed luck of finding something lost for years. The word is pulling me under. I can hear the syllable thunder. One sound he used for everything he loved, a private language nobody else could shove. Say it for me one more time. Word say love, one word say love, one word say love, love, one word say love, love, After he was gone, we caught ourselves using and reaching up to the shelves of language for the right response to something beautiful, and finding his word coming out before we knew we had it in us. My mother said it for the morning luminous, and stopped and looked at her own mouth as if a bird had flown in from the south of somewhere she had thought was closed forever. They say the dead released the words they carried, but his word passed into every mouth that loved him. I do not need to know what language made it, I only need to hear it come out of my mother at the window. Out of my mother at the window. Trust the one syllable. My grandfather had one word he used for everything he loved, a word confused by nobody is anything but his. The sound of what belonging always is. My mother said it at the window in the morning, not knowing it was coming without warning. Leave your mark, we are still saying it. The window is still his. The syllable is still warm. The word remembers every beautiful thing it was ever used for. The hour before the funeral, nobody knew what to do with their hands or body. My mother ironed a shirt that needed nothing. My uncle stood outside ironing something invisible between his palms, the air. My sister counted tiles upon the stair. Keep moving. Some hours can only be survived by doing. The hearse was coming at 11 sharp. My father in a box, the whole shop. Edge of that particular knowledge sitting in the room with us while we were fitting ourselves into the clothes of the occasion. Each button a small act of persuasion that the body could continue dressing, when the mind had given up at guessing how 11 was supposed to arrive. The hour's pulling me under. Hey, I can hear the 11th thunder. Nobody knew where to put their hands in the last hour before the hearse commands. Wait for me before 11 comes out. Our hands hearse, wait. Our hands hearse, wait. Our hands hearse, hearse. Wait. Our hands hearse, wait. Nobody drank. 4 cups growing cold beside the rank of coats along the hallway, waiting to for 11 and the thing that 11 would do to all of us forever after that. We stood before 11 held us all.
I do not need the funeral
To be different, I only need
the cold tea
and the ironing,
and the counting,
the ironing,
and the counting.
trust the hour before. The hour before the funeral, nobody knew what to do with their hands or body. Moving through the motions just to move, finding in the doing some kind of groove. My brother made 4 cups of tea we never touched, holding on to warmth that did not help us much. Leave your mark, we are still
Holding the cups,
the hallway is still full. The 11 is still coming. The hour remembers every hand that did not know what to do. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, Carrie door circle. My father carried something in his chest for 30 years without a moment's rest. From the weight of it, a thing he did when he was young that closed a lid on someone's trust. And he had meant to say he was sorry, but the years got in the way. Keep carrying. Some apologies outlive the wound, therefore. He told me once when I was old enough to hear it said the years had made it rough around the edges, but the center stayed as sharp as the original he had made. A mistake, a young man's careless act that cost another person something cracked that never fully healed. He said he drove past the person's house for years and wove around the block, unable to go in. The apology is pulling me under. Oh, I can hear the 30-year thunder. He circled the house for decades in the car,
never close enough.
and never too far. Say it for me through the window. Sorry, Carrie door circle. Sorry, Carrie door circle. Sorry,
Carry, door, circle, circle.
sorry,
Carry, door, circle, circle.
sorry, Carrie.
Sorry, carry,
Sorry,
carry.
door circle.
Sorry, carry, door, circle.
Sorry, Carrie.
Sorry, carry, door, circle.
Drive, stop,
Drive.
no, sorry, Carrie. The person died before my father did, by 7 years, and with it went the lid of something he had held for 30 years. He sat beside me in the car in tears, said now it has nowhere to go. He said the apology is heavier now they're dead than when there was a door it could have entered. Said grief without a door is just uncentered weight that has no place to put itself down, 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 down. They say the dead release the guilt they carry, but my father carried his beyond the door it needed. I do not need the apology to be accepted. I only need to know he circled that house for 30 years. That house for 30 years. Trust the circle. My father carried something in his chest, oh, for 30 years without morning that my mother forgot his name, the house went quiet in a particular shame. That was not shame, exactly more a cold recognition that the story being told by her memory was skipping pages now. We stood around the table wondering how. Keep remembering. Some names are the last thing the mind releases. She knew his face, she knew his hand, she knew the weight of him beside her and the view from their bedroom window and the smell of his particular soap, and could tell you every year they spent together, every child they raised, but the name went very quietly that Tuesday at the table. She reached for it and found herself unable. The name is pulling me under. She held his face, she held his hands, this smell, but the word that was his name began to fail. Say it for me. At the table, name, reach, forget, hope. Name, reach, forget, hope. Name, reach, forget, hope. Name, reach, forget, forget. Name, reach, forget, name, reach, forget, hope. Name, reach, forget. No lose, no found. Name, reach, no lose, no found. Name, reach, no lose, no found. My sister said it softly, filled a gap. The name came back to her just like that. A word returned into a mouth that knew it. Once and always what she said, she drew it back from somewhere just beyond the reach of Tuesday morning ordinary speech. She said it twice as if to check it fit. The face he had kept perfectly lit inside her even as the word went dark. They say the mind releases what it cannot hold, but my mother kept his face when the name went. I do not need the name to stay forever. I only need my sister saying it softly at the table. Softly at the table. Trust the face behind the name. The morning that my mother forgot his name, oh, the house went quiet in a particular shame. That was not shame, but recognition cold of a story